Alright, hello, this is LWDQ. I am back with Gemsnoot on the Kazakh Thule server, and we are going to continue these efforts here. And I play on Linux Pop OS 21.04 on a Razer Blade 15 2018 model laptop, and all of which I'll probably put in the description again. And here we go. We are, if I remember right, it's been a few days here, but I believe I was going to head to get spells and some mundane things, of which I'll try to entertain by doing some, covering some topics and yakking and whatnot. It's sort of a funny thing that happened recently, over this past weekend, is my daughter shared with me that her friends, or that there's some of her friends anyway, I think more than one, is watching my channel and getting a good laugh out of it. So you're welcome. Yes, my daughter has a geeky, nerdy dad that is enjoying the sort of retro, old-style computer games. Always have, always will. So hello to you. Thanks for watching. It's always nice to know there's somebody local checking stuff out I'm doing. Now here we are in the plane of knowledge here, and I'm just going to go up to get all my spells up here. I'm not going to get all spells as a Necro man. This is a pain in the rump. All this zigzagging up these, I always hate that. Anyway, you go up in here. Now, I happen to know where it's at, but if you happen to not know where to get spells, the Plane of Knowledge, otherwise known as PoK, has this big library, this big old building right smack dab in the middle here, okay? And they have all the spells and combat abilities for everybody's classes. That used to be they had some and things like that. Now, they basically... They not only have the first rank of every spell for every X pack, even spells that you used to have to kind of farm. Every spell you can find on your vendors for your class in here, up through level 90. Okay, which means, excuse me, sorry, very sorry. Which means that if you happen to play this game, you're like, oh, I don't want to start at level 1. I want to make a heroic. You know, kind of like how World of Warcraft has like a booster thing, you know. Well, this game has the same thing too, and they call it the heroic character, and you can start out at level 85. You have to pay a little bit of money, but you know, you can do it. And when you do that, so you could come here, and actually the spells are cheaper if you come here generally. Not always. It depends on the server a little bit. Sometimes people will try to help out lower level characters and stuff, and if they have spent some time in I think this is the Necro side, pretty sure. I shall find out. It might be the Shadow Knight side. Yeah, Necro. There we go. Anyway, and you so they might, like go to the House of Thule zones, which is basically the level 86 through 90 X pack, right? And they get a bunch of spell gem drops and things like that. You know, they'll throw them up on the bazaar for even less than what this person might sell the rank 1s. So occasionally you might run into cases where you might be able to get spells that at that level range that are cheaper than what you could get the rank 1s on the on the NBC. So if you're really tight on cash, on plat, game plat, I would suggest giving that a shot. Anyway, so here we are. Right now, what I'm going to do is sell everything in that bag, I believe. Yeah. That's another sort of change. If you click on a bag when you're in a vendor window here, you just click on the bag like this, and if you hit sell, it'll sell everything in the contents of the bag. You just hit yes, and just all of it just goes right there, right? What's this stuff here? Blah blah. Lots of I'm just gonna sell that. It's that bag, right? Yeah. Sell that. I think I was originally thinking about putting this stuff on the pet. But by the time I start throwing stuff on the pet, better Defiant gear is going to be dropping off the mobs. So I think to get some money, I'm going to just sell this stuff also, I think. I was considering just keeping it and putting on pets, but the Merc is basically going to be my pet for quite some time, so whatever pet I happen to use is not going to be getting aggro. So, it's quite a bit of starting out money there, eh? And this bag here doesn't seem to have much that is of interest to me. Ooh, it does have a bag. I want to get that bag out. So, for you to get stuff out, take it out. I'm going to put that in my bank to hold stuff. Alright, so we got that. Sell everything there. A little bit more. Okay, now we're going to get spells. So, these spells are super cheap. Technically, I could just get everything, but you don't really have to. And I'm not even going to bother getting like the newbie pets. It doesn't matter at all. Visibility undead is important to have. Sense undead is important to have. Doesn't matter. Disease cloud. Fine. Now we are on here. Fear. Back in the old days, fear would be a definite get. Now, doesn't matter. Fear kiting is a thing in the past. By the time the fear kiting is gonna basically be worthless around level 55, 60, I think, somewhere in there. And by then, your pet's going to be beefy enough if you need that, or actually the tank pet's still going to be probably your main merc, even up to about level 55 or 60. Probably. I don't know. We'll see. I think my original plan was to switch over at about level 50 to a healer merc. So I'll probably do that. But anyway, so I'm not going to get that. True North doesn't matter. Numb the Dead doesn't matter. No. Life Spike, that matters. Grimoire doesn't matter. I don't think. I think that's just for you, right? Doesn't do anything for your pet now. Clinging Darkness matters quite a bit. Probably should just get Gate, of course. Matters. Poison Bolt will matter. Shadow Step, no. Deadeye, I think that's See Invisible, I think, right? Yeah, that's not going to matter so much. Dark Pact. It's a mana regen thing. That matters. Ward Undead doesn't matter. Dark Empathy. I think that's a Mez. Oh, no. See, that doesn't matter. Some of these things matter a little bit more on TLPs, or if you were whisked back in time to original EverQuest, that would matter, but nowadays you can skip a lot of these spells if you're leveling from level 1. I'm pretty sure this is a life tap. Yeah. Mend Bones is not going to matter. Gather Shadows, of course, matters. Lesser Shieldings, definitely going to matter. I'm going to get Bone Walk here. It's the pet. Leech. Oh, that's the next level. Well, may as well get some of them here since I have the money. As you can see, I've still got like 34 plat, right? Graph Sight. Heat Blood is definitely a good dot to use. Scent of Dusk, Spook the Dead. Focus Death, I believe, is a pet buff. Yes, we're going to want that. Engulfing Darkness. This is Snare. Essential. I believe this is a pet. We're getting up into, they're starting to cost gold now. It's still going to barely... make a dent. All those rebos, blah blah blah, skip all of those. All of the Lost Dungeons of Norath spells you don't need at all. So you can just skip all those. Cure Disease, you're gonna have your Merc is gonna be doing that for you. Not the tank Merc, but you know. You're not gonna need those either. Rebos, blah blah blah. You don't need that either. Shield Skin you're going to need. I think that's the... Let's take a look at the description here. We need to get some cat's eye agates. You're not going to need Banshee Aura nor Cancel-Matic. This is a roleplay thing. Voice graph so you can talk through your pet. Infectious Cloud is important. Spirit Armor. You could probably skip it, but I'll get it. You also want to keep in mind Restless Bones, that's a pet. Shielding, of course. And as you can tell, we spent all of that time only in that newbie area, first 8 levels. And even though I chose not to loot a heck of a lot of stuff, what I did loot, I was able to get plenty of plat in order to be able to pay, for my spells all the way up. It's going to end up being all the way up to level 25. So, all the ones that you need anyway. Feign Death. Hungry Earth is a root. It's nice. I think that's important. Okay, now we're getting into the plats here. Okay, fine. So, identify. You're getting the AA for that, and you're not going to really need it for a long time. that slow? Slowing their attack speed. Not going to really need that. Ah. It's basically a lich type spell. That's good. Yeah, you don't need that. Tiny Companion is nice to have to later levels. Word of Shadow. That's an AoE thing. You're not going to really need that. Harm Shield, definitely. Siphon Life, of course. We're starting to get it. Okay, fine. So we're not going to get all the way up to level 25, but still, we're getting quite a lot of spells here. That's a pet. There's another thing, all these pets and stuff, some of them you had to, well, not up to now, I mean technically I think up to level 20, you could get, even if they weren't at the Necro vendors, they used to be at the Shadow Knight vendors for, to be able to get pets without having to do research, but research is not, obviously not a need because of all the spells, you don't, research is a dead skill, you don't need to do spell research ever anymore. On the regular live servers. You're not going to need that. Scent of Shadow. Scent. That is debatable, but I'm going to get it. It's a Twitch spell. Don't need those. And that's a nuke, I believe. Okay. I'm going to stop right there. I got all the way up through 21. I have 8 plat left. It's good enough. And we're going to memorize as many of these as we can. That's it. Alright, so it's got 1, 2, 3 bags, 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna transfer these over so that these are low, these are high, so we can just blah 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 blah. There we go. I want to go to the bank so I don't forget to drop the bag off and stuff. At this point right now, you might be tempted to use these. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's kind of a personal preference. As far as the Defiant gear goes, you can, as you've seen, you can get Defiant gear quite easily, but it doesn't always match the class that you're in, or match the class that you're playing. Eventually, you're going to want to start doing daily quests. Look at this. Paying 8 million plat for 3 chrono. Chrono are sort of like WoW tokens in this game. This game had them first. Again, this is yet another example of how World of Warcraft sort of copied stuff that we pioneered. It's like I'm on their payroll. Okay, this game pioneered. This is my MMO, so a lot of people that play MMO sort of take ownership over the games that they play a little bit, as if they have any real impact, but or have any real responsibility. It's a great grift that happens in player bases of these games that even I fall victim to once in a while if I don't stay on my P's and Q's and pay attention to what I'm thinking. So okay, bank. Small banks over here, up in that building. A lot of trade skill guys, and there's a little hobbit over there that does banking. I don't like going to that one. There's usually a lot more people there, and this is so that one over there is known as the small bank. This is known as the large bank or big bank. Look at this. I don't know why they're doing this, but recently they've started doing group buffs and stuff over here. I think it's to try to alleviate some of the lag that's in the guild hall area, the guild lobby. So I might have to switch banks here. I think the lag is fine here though. 70 milliseconds, it's fine. Alright. Let's put this bag in here. Is there anything in this? No. That doesn't matter. This is stuff from my other tunes that I've put in here that are way higher level stuff that, you know, that's cheating. If I grab stuff out of here, it's cheating. I'm cheating a little bit, but I prefer not to cheat too much. Still got plenty of food and water. This newbie food and water really helps out a lot. Lasts a long time. So I'm not going to bother with that. The little bit I'm cheating with is by having this mount. The mount buff. Well, it's really more of a cosmetic thing because as I've covered before, if you're a returning player and you get the hand mount, you're going to get the same buff anyway, so it just looks weird. Prefer to have something that looks like this. So it's not really cheating any more than anybody else is going to be able to do. So let's mem some spells, shall we? Alright, so the first one is going to be the snare. Put that in the first one. Put the lesser shielding down here. Oh, gate. That is correct. That would be bad. Let's just put the gate down here. Gate is going to be really hard to cast for a while, and then the portals are going to collapse, which stinks. And let's put the pet here. So life tap here. Oh, I'm sorry. See, I'm kind of messing up now a little bit. This is a buff. Doesn't last super long. I like to keep the buffs on the bottom and then, you know, snares and more offensive stuff near the top. Buff. Now we'll put the pet there. draining your hit points, blah blah blah. This is the same thing, right? No, I don't want that. I want this. Poison bolt. That's a. To be honest, you're not going to need a lot of these nukes at all. But just to have something in the space, I think what I'm going to do is start training divination. And put that there, even if I don't really need it or use it, really need it. Because you want to be mindful of your spell skills, especially if you're leveling from level 1 and you're not heroicing or anything like that. Mark my words, though, if you start doing this, and you, when you're playing the game of Everquest, I'll explain what I did there in a second. When you're playing the game of Everquest and you, 29 minutes, jeez, guess, okay. And you're going along in the levels, things are going smooth, you got your mercs helping you, basically power leveling you, you're almost leveling too fast, then you're able to keep up with your spells and things like that. And people are wanting to help power level you, but I would not take that, because if you get power leveled, then you end up being a higher level, but then you have crap, your gear is way out of date. And it just, you don't really need that. Just play the game. And it helps you understand your character. And considering that Necros are basically solo characters, you're gonna be, if the reason you picked a Necro is the solo, then just do it yourself. That's what you're gonna be doing anyway. But once you get up to a certain point, you're gonna want to heroic, unless you're perfectly satisfied at staying and level locking, which would be if you lock your levels, you're gonna run this all the way up to only do AAs. Okay, you're gonna hit your AA max, and you're gonna stop your level experience, and you're never gonna go beyond that level. There are some old timers that they've sampled the TLP servers, time lock progression servers, thinking they're going to get a old school kind of P99 experience, and then they don't, because it's a toxic environment, chronograb kind of situation. They go to a normal server, they might try the Fiona V server, but they end up going to a normal server and they just start over again, or they go back to their home server, which is usually a normal server. Play one of the original characters and try to get along. And they sample the newer, more modern levels in the game. They either find it hard to adjust, or they just don't like it. What you might want to do is start a level 1 character of your favorite class, go all the way up to maybe level 65 or so, and then level lock. Boom. That's it. You're a level 65 forever, right? Just keep throwing experience into AAs, alternate advancement points, and then you'll never get beyond level 65. And just once in a while, when you feel like playing EverQuest, maybe once or twice a week or something for a little nostalgia, log on to your level 65 character. You can get, you'll be by yourself. But you can go into the older zones and kind of get that feeling that you know, kind of a little bit of a memory of the feeling that you used to have when you were younger and you played the game 20 years ago. And playing a Nightmare or playing a Disease or something, or you know, somewhere on the moon, you know, zones there for Luckland, stuff like that, you know, level 65. And if you want to kind of, you know, be a little cheaty with that to make sure you can handle some of the tougher stuff that's up there by yourself, you don't really need it, but you could probably just maybe level up to 70 or 75 and then stop there if you want, because you're not going to really care about getting experience from the mobs there. You know, you just want to. So anyway, that some people would prefer to do that, just basically level lock and just live in the old school zones for nostalgia purposes once in a while. If you want to really take on the game and you really want to play, and you're going to you're determined to learn some of the newer systems and everything with the ranked spells, and some of the mechanics with the newer mobs that are immune to almost everything that's useful, whether it be charm, snare, root, stun. There's a lot of just regular trash mobs that are immune to just all kinds of stuff. That is the laziest game design mechanic in the world. It irritates me, but some people don't mind it. They like to learn which mobs are immune to what, and you know, stuff like that, which is cool and everything. But I don't. You know, of course, I endure it. I play in a modern game and everything like that, but it still doesn't change the fact that it's kind of a lazy mechanic to try to balance things out. So there we go. We got all our spells. That's where we get the spells. This is where the large bank is, and the small bank is over there. Maybe I'll show you next episode where that's at. I didn't really get around to talking about any kind of subjects, except for my daughter's friends that may be watching this. Hello. Great that you're watching. Not sure what to say. I'll tell you this. I felt slightly embarrassed. I wasn't sure if I was happy that you're watching, or embarrassed that you're watching, or how I should feel about it. I suppose overall I'm happy that you're watching. So whether I should be embarrassed or happy or whatever, it's a moot thing. You're watching, so there you go. Stay out of trouble. Keep my daughter out of trouble. And this is Elwood EQ signing out, and see you guys next episode.